forgotten by design. For the Galactic Federation, humans were nothing more than tools. Designed to be cheap, efficient, and easily reproducible, they were the perfect warriors for interstellar conflict. But ethical debates shifted the winds of power. An animal rights group, viewing the humans as sentient beings with rights, fought fiercely and won legislation at the Federation Council. The decree, once put into motion, was clear. Humans were to be abandoned, left on the reservation planet known as Earth, and forgotten about. As centuries passed, the once thriving human farms now lay dormant, their purpose forgotten by all but a few. Situated light-years away from the nearest inhabited planet, Earth was tucked neatly out of the way. Its sole purpose was to contain the remnants of a species once created for war. Commander Talon, an avian species from the Orion cluster, was tasked with Earth's millennial check-in. Every 1,000 years, a quick overview was conducted to monitor the state of the human species, noting technological advancements and societal changes. Previous visits had shown various civilizations. From mighty empires with grand structures to nomadic tribes, humans had constantly adapted, reinvented, and progressed. But this time, something was different. As Talon's ship approached the solar system, his sensors detected an unexpected blip, a metallic object near the outer edges of the Sol system. An artificial satellite? He mused, surprised. The weak transmission it emitted was primitive but unmistakably technological. As he continued, his ship's console lit up again. Sensor readings of Earth were picking up elevated levels of radioactive elements in the atmosphere, a possible sign of nuclear conflict. Have they annihilated themselves? Talon thought. But another scan painted a different picture. Radio waves, strong and consistent, emanated from every corner of the blue planet. So, they're still alive then. Recording the data for the Federation's records, Talon maneuvered closer. What he hadn't expected was the flurry of activity that greeted him in high Earth orbit. Metal satellites encircled the planet, and a space station, compact but sophisticated, floated serenely among them. As he marveled at their progress and hastily compiled his report, an unexpected jolt rocked his ship. Alarm sirens blared as he struggled to understand the new threat. The external visual revealed small, agile spaceships surrounding him, their weapons systems, akin to disruptors, trained directly on his vessel. A voice, unmistakably human, crackled over his communication system. "Alien craft, identify yourself." Talon hesitated. This wasn't the scattered, primitive species the Federation had left behind. It was a united front, technologically advanced and apparently not too thrilled about unannounced visitors. His thoughts raced. Forgotten they might have been, but the humans of Earth had evolved, adapted, and were now demanding answers. And Commander Talon unwittingly had just become their guest. Forgotten by Design, Part 2. Commander Talon's ship, a Federation masterpiece of technology and design, now hung helplessly in Earth's orbit, ensnared by a fleet of smaller, nimble human crafts. The voice that crackled over the communication system had a tone that hinted at decades of command. But what startled Talon most was not the show of force. It was the fluency and clear intent in the voice. These humans knew exactly what they were doing. Before he could muster a response, he hastily assembled the incomplete report on his console. Transmitting it back to his superiors at the Galactic Federation was a gamble. The report, marked with urgent priority, shot through the vast expanses of space, en route to a commanding officer who was, undoubtedly, going to be less than pleased. His heart raced as he pondered his next move. Making direct contact was fraught with danger, and seeing him, a bird-like entity, would only exacerbate their fears. He vaguely remembered lessons on first contact protocols from his academy days. What was it about the mythologies and beliefs of contacted species? Drawing upon fragmented memories of past check-ins, Talon recalled stories of deities worshipped by humans. Perhaps posing as one might buy him some time, even favor. Well, it's not entirely false, he reasoned. In a way, I am here to observe them. As the Earth ships began to tow his vessel toward their space station, Talon steeled himself. Clearing his throat, he activated the communication system. "Humans of Earth," he began, using his most resonant, authoritative voice. "I bring a message from the Celestial Federation, Guardians of the Galaxy. I request an audience with your most esteemed leaders. Much has transpired that you must be made aware of." A few tense moments passed before another voice, deeper and more seasoned, responded. "You speak our language fluently. Interesting. We're bringing you into Station Helios. Prepare to be boarded and let's discuss." Talon exhaled, relief evident in his feathers. He had managed to pique their interest without revealing too much. The space station approached, a marvel of human engineering, gleaming with the reflected light of the sun. As his ship was guided into a docking bay, Talon couldn't help but marvel at the rapid advancements the humans had made. The last report showed them barely mastering the intricacies of steam power. Preparing himself for the encounter, he stood tall, uniform, immaculate. He was about to meet the leaders of a species once designed for war, but now evident masters of their destiny. Whatever lay ahead, Commander Talon hoped that his guise as a celestial emissary would bridge the chasm of misunderstanding between them. He glanced one last time at his ship's console. The report's transmission was successful. The Federation would know of this encounter, but for now Talon was on his own, walking into the heart of humanity's domain. Forgotten by Design, Part 3. The metallic doors hissed open, revealing the sterile interior of the space station. As Talon stepped out, a group of humans awaited him. At the forefront stood a rugged man, his silver hair contrasting with the deep lines of a weathered face that hinted at intelligence forged from countless challenges. "Welcome to the Genesis Station," the Admiral said, extending a hand, a gesture Talon recognized from his briefings as a human sign of goodwill. Opting for theatricality, Talon ignored the extended hand. Instead, raising his arms to mimic the wingspan he lacked, he intoned in a deep voice, "Behold, I am the one you know as Thoth, the Celestial, the Keeper of Mysteries." Admiral Lansing's brow furrowed, but a spark of recognition gleamed in his eyes. "Thoth? The god of wisdom and the moon from ancient Egyptian lore?" "Indeed," Talon continued, trying to maintain his composure and the charade. "I have watched over humanity from the celestial realms, returning now in this pivotal moment." A murmur went through the gathered delegation. Lansing, however, looked skeptical, though not entirely dismissive. "Well, Thoth, I must admit your appearance does remind us of the ibis-headed deity from the myths. But why now? Why this sudden appearance?" Leveraging his knowledge, Talon replied, "Humanity stands at the brink of a new era. I have returned to guide, to witness, and perhaps to intervene." As the discussions progressed, Admiral Lansing guided Talon to a more private chamber. Screens adorned the walls, displaying images of Earth from various eras. Some showed ancient structures like the pyramids, while others displayed grainy footage of unidentified flying objects. Lansing pointed to a still of a saucer-like ship. "We've had our suspicions, encounters, sightings, even abductions. Are they all your doing?" Talon hesitated, realizing he might have ventured too deep into his own deceit. "Not all, but some. The Galactic Federation has occasionally intervened, mostly to observe." "Galactic Federation?" Lansing leaned back, clearly intrigued. "So not just a lone god, but an entire federation. You've been watching us, then?" "Observation missions," Talon clarified, his celestial facade wavering. "Periodic check-ins to monitor your progress, your evolution. The Federation never interfered directly, only observed." The Admiral frowned. "So the tales of abductions, experiments." "Unintentional consequences," Talon admitted. "Sometimes things went awry, but never with malevolent intent." "Your English is impeccable," Lansing remarked, a hint of amusement in his eyes. "Almost native. How?" Talon tilted his head slightly. "Before missions like this, we're given a neural download of Earth languages. Your English is among them. It aids in understanding transmissions and communications." Lansing seemed to process this. "You're not here just as a benevolent god. You have an agenda. What is it?" Talon sighed. The weight of deception was becoming burdensome. "To observe, to report. But now, with Earth's advancements, the dynamics might change." Admiral Lansing nodded slowly. "You've given us much to ponder, Thoth. Or is there another name you go by in this galactic federation of yours?" Talon looked taken aback, his avian eyes betraying his surprise. "How did you know? Did you really think," Lansing chuckled, "that posing as an ancient god would go unnoticed or unchallenged? We've dreamt of the stars, of beings from the great beyond. And while the myths have given us a foundation, our quest for knowledge has never wavered. Talon inclined his head, acknowledging the Admiral's astuteness. So, what now? Lansing's eyes twinkled. Now, we talk. Truly talk. Humanity is ready to join the larger cosmos, and you, Commander, will be our first contact. As the two continued their conversation, it was evident that Earth's place in the galaxy was about to shift dramatically. The era of observation was over. The age of collaboration had dawned. Forgotten by Design, Part 4. The chamber's atmosphere was thick with anticipation. Admiral Lansing's eyes were locked onto Talon, demanding the truth, while the surrounding officers braced themselves for whatever revelation was to come. Talon exhaled deeply. Earth's story isn't one of natural evolution, but of design, intention. Lansing's brow furrowed. Explain. Before the war with the Kriller, Talon began, humans as you know them did not exist. A scientist in the Federation, Dr. Lyrian, took a keen interest in a primate species from one of our planets. He saw potential in them, potential that could be refined and enhanced. The room was silent, every ear tuned to Talon's words. Using advanced genetic manipulation, Dr. Lyrian elongated the primate's limbs, increased the size of its brain, and infused it with a cocktail of traits: aggression, empathy, intelligence, and insatiable curiosity. He crafted a being that was both a thinker and a warrior, a sentient weapon for the Federation to wield against the Kriller. The reactions were mixed. Some faces showed fascination, others disbelief, and a few outright denial. You're implying, Lansing started, voice heavy with skepticism, that we're lab experiments? Talon nodded. Once Dr. Lyrian's creation was introduced to the battlefield, the tide of war shifted. The Kriller had never faced an adversary like the humans. You carried out objectives with unparalleled precision and commitment. The Federation would set a goal, and the human battalions executed it without need for further intervention. So we were tools. Lansing's voice was cold. Used and then discarded? In a manner of speaking, Talon admitted, hesitating slightly. After the war, there was a dilemma. The humans, designed for a war that was now over, posed a quandary for the Federation. The decision was made to relocate all humans to Earth. A murmur swept the chamber. The weight of Talon's revelation was beginning to sink in. Earth is a reservation planet, Talon added softly. It's off-limits to all in the Federation, save for a select few watchers, like me. The room erupted in hushed conversations. Whispers of anger, disbelief, and shock filled the chamber. Lansing, after a moment of reflection, took charge. This changes everything. Our very origin, our history, it's all been orchestrated. Talon nodded solemnly. But it also underscores the marvel that is humanity. Despite your origins, you've developed cultures, societies, arts, sciences. You've grown beyond the confines of your design. The woman with the high-ranking uniform stood up. We may have begun as creations of war, but look at us now. Our heritage doesn't define us. Our choices do. Lansing nodded. And our choice is clear. We will face the Galactic Federation, not as remnants of a past war, but as the unified representation of Earth's legacy. Talon felt a mixture of pride and guilt. The human's ability to confront such unsettling truths and still find resolve was astounding. It was evident that Earth, no longer a mere observation, was ready to assert its place in the cosmos. In revealing their past, Talon had ignited a spark that promised to blaze brightly, heralding humanity's spirit and its unwavering determination to shape its destiny. Forgotten by Design, Part 5. The rhythmic hum of the Genesis station faded into the background as Talon's communication device vibrated softly. He glanced at the incoming transmission identifier. It was a secured channel from the Galactic Federation's command center. Admiral Lansing, he began, his avian features revealing a hint of unease. I must return to my vessel to attend to this transmission. I assure you, it's of the utmost importance. Lansing, eyes sharp, regarded him for a moment. Very well, Commander Talon. Lieutenant Kara will escort you. He gestured to a stern-looking officer. But the entryway remains open. We must ensure transparency. Talon nodded, understanding the gravity of trust being placed in him. As he followed Lieutenant Kara towards the docking bay, The looming silhouette of his sleek spacecraft came into view. Kara's eyes widened, clearly taken aback by its advanced design and shimmering exterior. "That's an impressive ship," she murmured, a hint of awe evident in her voice. Acknowledging the compliment with a nod, Talon stepped into his spacecraft, leaving the door ajar as stipulated. Settling into the captain's chair, he activated the comlink. Commander Zyrex's holographic image blinked to life. His scales glistened under the artificial lighting, and his reptilian eyes conveyed a mix of concern and annoyance. "Talon! What in the 7 stars have you done? This was a covert observation mission. You've gone and gotten yourself detained." Talon sighed, gripping the armrests of his chair. "Have you seen my report, Commander? The humans have evolved remarkably. Their development, their society, their innovations, they're unlike anything we predicted." Zyrex hissed, "Our objectives never change hastily. You've overstepped, and now we're facing potential fallout. Tell me you didn't reveal everything." Talon hesitated for a split second. "I might have shared certain details about their creation and our role." Zyrex's scales flushed a darker hue, his irritation evident. "By the cosmos, Talon! What possessed you? Now I have to explain this debacle to the Council." "Listen, Commander," Talon interjected, a sense of urgency in his tone. "Given the humans' technological advancements, they are on the cusp of interstellar travel. It's inevitable they'll cross paths with other civilizations. It's better if we control the narrative and guide them." Zyrex paused, contemplating Talon's words. "So, you're suggesting we shift from observers to mentors?" Talon nodded. "Exactly. Instead of treating this as a crisis, we could pivot to a diplomatic mission. Send an envoy, maybe back it up with a couple of battleships as a show of strength, and we negotiate." The reptilian commander seemed to consider this, his cold gaze fixed on Talon. "You believe this can be salvaged diplomatically?" "Yes," Talon asserted. "They may have initially been a product of our creation, but they've grown, evolved. They have a society, a culture. They deserve a say in their future among the stars." After what seemed like an eternity, Zyrex responded, "Very well. You've always approached challenges uniquely, Talon. I'll talk to the Council. Sit tight, and let's hope your faith in these humans is not misplaced." As the transmission ended, Talon leaned back, exhaling deeply. He'd secured a chance, however slim, for humanity to play an active role in their cosmic journey. Outside the spacecraft, Lieutenant Kara had been observing, her keen senses picking up on the tension of the conversation, even if the words were lost to her. As Talon emerged, she inquired, "Everything okay?" Talon managed a weary smile. "It's a start, Lieutenant. A complicated, delicate start." Together, they made their way back to Lansing, the weight of the galaxy on their shoulders but hope in their hearts. Forgotten by Design, Part 6, The Human Situation. Light years away in the bustling star system of Sagittarius A, near the center of the Milky Way, the human situation had rapidly ascended to become the top priority for the Galactic Council. The cavernous council chamber pulsed with an undercurrent of tension. Members of the Galactic Federation's council, representing diverse species from various star systems, filled the auditorium, their collective attention on the grand holographic display in the center. Earth, in its blue and green splendor, was the focal point. Commander Zyrex, tall and composed, was at the center of this gathering. By his side, the holographic interface showed the initial pages of Talon's recent and abruptly halted report. "The matter at hand," Zyrex began, commanding silence, "concerns the humans of Earth." All eyes were on him. While most of the council was familiar with humanity's existence, not everyone was privy to their intricate details or the reasons for this sudden assembly. However, some who had access to previous reports followed humanity's progress with keen interest. "The recent detainment of Commander Talon on Earth has precipitated this gathering," Zyrex continued, the screen showcasing the footage of Talon's ship approaching Earth and subsequent events. A council member, representing the granite-skinned inhabitants of Gorgona Prime, rumbled, "They're in their infancy, with power they scarcely understand." Another, from the crystalline species of Zert Prime, refracted light in agreement. "Once tools of warfare, and now this, to reintroduce them to the cosmos is fraught with peril." Zyrex took a moment, then activated the interface to display snippets from Talon's unfinished report. Clips varied from humans engaged in conflict to moments of compassion, innovation, and profound scientific breakthroughs. "These beings," Zyrex intoned, "born of our intent but evolved beyond our design. They demonstrate aggression, yes, but also empathy, intelligence, and an insatiable curiosity. Attributes they honed themselves." The chamber grew quiet. An elder council member, a figure of immense age and wisdom and part of one of the longest-living species in the Federation, slowly rose. "I remember when the seeds of their creation were sown," he began, his voice echoing memories of bygone eras. "But the fabric of their society, their culture and dreams, it's a testament to nature's unpredictability. But can we trust them?" Another council member challenged, the distrust evident. "They've detained one of our own. What prevents them from taking a more aggressive stance?" Zyrex, choosing his words meticulously, replied, "Their potential is clear. Their advancements indicate they are on the brink of interstellar travel. We can either welcome them as potential allies or brace for uncertainty." Discussions filled the room, a cacophony of differing opinions and perspectives. Every species, every representative grappled with the magnitude of the decision before them. The head of the council, a radiant being of pure energy, signaled for silence. "Our path is not clear-cut. We shall convene a vote on humanity's fate." Zyrex cast a final look at the incomplete report. The fate of a species shaped by the Federation and now standing on the precipice of the cosmos lay in the balance. As the chamber readied itself for the momentous vote, one thing was certain. The decision would shape the trajectory of galactic events for eons to come. Forgotten by Design, Part 7. Decision Time. Light years away, in the bustling star system of Sagittarius A, close to the galactic center of the Milky Way, the human situation had reached its climax. The cavernous council chamber of the Galactic Federation throbbed with expectation. Emissaries from countless star systems waited with bated breath, their collective attention on the grand holographic display in the center. Earth, in its blue and green splendor, shimmered as the focal point. High above the council, Commander Zyrex stood at a communicator console, deep in a secured conversation with Talon, who was currently aboard his vessel near the Earth's orbital space station. "How are things proceeding on your end?" Zyrex inquired. "Better than expected," Talon replied. "The humans have been gracious hosts. They are curious, intelligent, and the range of their emotions astounds me every day. There's a sense of hope in the air, a hope that the Federation will see their worth." Zyrex nodded. "The Council is about to cast its vote. This decision could alter the course of their history, and ours." On the central podium, the presiding officer, a tall, ethereal being with shimmering skin, rose. "Members of the Council, the hour of decision is upon us. We must weigh the potential of the humans against the potential risks they pose. Their creation was our doing, our responsibility. Now we must decide their fate." As the last echoes of the presiding officer's voice faded, a representative from the desert world of Sirian stood up, her sand-colored robes flowing gracefully around her. "I ask the Council to remember that the humans have made considerable leaps in a short span. Yes, their origin as warriors for our cause is known, but they've evolved, found love, culture, and aspirations. Do we not owe it to them to see their full potential?" A counter-argument came swiftly from a tall, tree-like representative from Verdant Prime. "Yet, that rapid evolution, their insatiable curiosity, it's a double-edged sword. Today they seek knowledge. Tomorrow they might seek dominance. If we created them, is it not our prerogative to end the experiment if it's deemed dangerous?" The chamber was filled with murmurs, nods, and whispers as more beings voiced their opinions. Each perspective carried weight, each argument filled with millennia of experiences from their home worlds. While the debate raged, Zyrex transmitted a secure message to Talon. "Prepare for any outcome, Commander. This is closer than I anticipated." Talon's response was filled with resolve. "Understood. The humans know the gravity of the situation. They're ready." As the deliberations neared an end, the presiding officer called for silence. "It is time. Cast your votes." In the deep silence, holographic beams of light shot up from the council members' stations, their colors indicating their choices. As each light beam reached the ceiling, a counter displayed the tally. The entire chamber held its breath, waiting. The final vote was cast and the result displayed. The decision to send an envoy to Earth to assess humanity's readiness for the Federation had passed, but by a razor-thin margin, just one vote. A mixture of relief and trepidation filled the chamber. The Syrian representative whispered to her aide, "This isn't an outright victory, but it's a start." Zyrex immediately connected with Talon. "Commander, the humans will have their chance." "I'll inform Admiral Lansing. This is a new dawn for humanity," Talon responded. Little did they know that the challenges and opportunities awaiting both the Federation and humanity would be unlike any they had encountered before. Forgotten by Design, Part 8. The Federation is coming. At Genesis Station, orbiting Earth, a meeting of immense significance was unfolding. Talon, with his avian features and poised stance, stood facing the vast expanse of stars, the blue-green jewel of Earth shimmering below. The news of the Galactic Federation's impending envoy had been relayed. This was a moment that would be etched in history. Admiral Lansing approached, his face reflecting a mix of elation and trepidation. "Commander Talon, humanity has been waiting for a day like this, even if we didn't know it. The very skies are changing." Talon turned, nodding. "Indeed, Admiral. The Federation's representatives will be here in 3 Earth weeks." Lansing smiled, his eyes reflecting the enormity of the situation. "A reason to celebrate, wouldn't you say?" "But first," Talon responded, "there is much to prepare, and Earth's inhabitants must be informed." "I've already contacted the United Nations Secretary-General," Lansing mentioned, tapping his communicator. "She's on her way and wishes to speak with you directly. We're considering a global introduction to you and the incoming envoy from the station." Talon's eyebrows raised in surprise. "A live broadcast to your entire population? That's a bold move, Admiral." "Bold times call for bold measures," Lansing shrugged, just as the airlock hissed open to admit the UN Secretary-General and several global dignitaries. The grand reception hall of Genesis Station had been prepared for this very moment. Talon greeted them with the customary human handshake. The Secretary-General, a steely-eyed, middle-aged woman, was the first to engage. "Commander Talon, it's an honor, but before we address the world, I need to know our story from your perspective, particularly about Dr. Lyrian and the true origin of humans." Talon hesitated for a moment, gauging the room, then began, "Before the Federation's war with the Kriller, humans did not exist in the form you recognize today. A distinguished scientist within the Federation, Dr. Lyrian, became fascinated by a primate species from one of our planets. He saw potential in them that went beyond their natural evolution." Every ear in the room hung on Talon's words, the weight of humanity's untold history pressing down. Using cutting-edge genetic manipulation, Dr. Lyrian transformed these primates. He elongated their limbs, expanded their brain capacity, and instilled within them a unique blend of traits: aggression, empathy, intelligence, and an unyielding curiosity. In essence, he crafted beings that were both thinkers and warriors, a sentient weapon designed for the Federation to wield against the Kriller. After Talon's revelation about humanity's engineered origins, the Secretary-General posed a question that seemed to hang in the air. "And the Kriller, Commander? What became of them?" Talon's expression hardened briefly, his gaze momentarily distant. "Humans were exceptional. When given objectives, whether in the vast reaches of space aboard our ships or on ground battles, humanity was unparalleled. They demonstrated a remarkable ability to outthink their adversaries, countering and pivoting in strategies that even some of our brightest tacticians couldn't predict. Ultimately, humans became the linchpin in our victory against the Kriller." The room remained silent, every person hanging on his every word, absorbing the gravity of humanity's role in a cosmic war. Talon sighed deeply. However, once the war ended, a dilemma arose. Humanity had been so effective, so lethal, that their mere existence became a point of contention. Some factions within the Federation argued that humans, with their sentience and demonstrated might, should be granted recognition and a place among the stars. Others, fearing their potency, wanted them contained. He continued, "After heated deliberations, a compromise of sorts was reached. Humans were transported to Earth, a vibrant world teeming with life, and left to their own devices. unmonitored, unsupervised, and essentially abandoned. That was tens of millennia ago, and here we are now conversing on your space station. Humanity's resilience and drive have brought them far. The room's atmosphere grew thick with the gravity of Talon's revelation. The Secretary General absorbed the information, her face unreadable. "Thank you, Commander. It's essential we understand our origins as we step onto the galactic stage." Talon nodded, continuing with the briefing. "When the envoy arrives, they will assess Earth on various fronts: culture, technology, society, and, importantly, intentions. Your reception and cooperation will be crucial during this evaluation." The Secretary General responded with determination. "We'll rally our people, Commander. This revelation, while unsettling, provides us an opportunity to unite like never before. If we're to step out into the galaxy, we should do so together." Admiral Lansing added, "We're already planning a global broadcast from Genesis Station. When it airs, it will likely be the most watched event in human history." Talon paused, processing the weight of the situation. "Let me get approval from my commanding officer, but I believe he'll see the value in this." As the meeting concluded, Genesis Station buzzed with renewed energy. Crew members bustled about, and preparations were underway on all fronts. The Galactic Federation was coming, and Earth was on the cusp of a new dawn. Lansing, gazing out at Earth, whispered, "This is our moment, Talon." Talon simply replied, "Let's hope humanity shines as brightly as that planet down there." Forgotten by Design, Part 9, The Broadcast. The grand halls of Genesis Station had never witnessed such fervor. Technicians scurried around, setting up broadcasting equipment, while communication experts from various nations huddled in animated discussion. The plan was to simultaneous translation into every language on Earth, ensuring the message would be universally understood by everyone at the same time. Admiral Lansing, grappling with the situation, said, "We have one chance to do this right. Our message has to be unified and clear." The Secretary General, in deep contemplation, responded, "Transparency is key. We must be forthcoming about our limited knowledge while emphasizing the potential of what's to come." Talon, who had been observing quietly, stepped forward. "If the issue is conveying the message across linguistic barriers, I have technology aboard my ship that can broadcast in every language simultaneously." The moment of the broadcast drew near. As the lights dimmed and a global audience tuned in, a historic hush settled over Genesis Station. With a voice that resonated with gravity and hope, the Secretary General began. "People of Earth, today marks a turning point in our history. We stand on the precipice of a new era, having made contact with the Galactic Federation." She then introduced Talon, whose avian visage became a focus for billions. Talon conveyed the Federation's peaceful intentions, Earth's shared past, and the potential horizons of cooperation and exploration. He appealed to humanity's spirit of curiosity and unity. Admiral Lansing detailed the events that led to this disclosure, speaking of the discovery and the burgeoning relationship with the Federation. "This isn't an invitation from them to us, but an opportunity for us to reach out, expanding our understanding and horizons, together." The broadcast concluded, and Earth reacted. In New York's Times Square, faces reflected the wonder and possibility of a universe waiting to be explored. In a remote village in Africa, the old spoke to the young, comparing Talon's words with ancient legends, finding comfort in stories passed down generations. Europe was ablaze with debate. Scholars, theologians, and thinkers pondered the implications of this revelation against the backdrop of human history. But not all reactions radiated optimism. Certain governments, wary of external interference, questioned the timing and authenticity of the Federation's outreach. Defensive measures were taken, with military installations across the globe bracing for the unknown. Online, conspiracy theories flourished. Some called the broadcast an elaborate globalist ploy, while others dredged up tales of ancient extraterrestrial overlords. As divisive narratives gained traction, cities saw protests. "Protect Earth" became the rallying cry for those who perceived the Federation's contact as a threat. After monitoring these global reactions, the Secretary General convened a crucial meeting. "We anticipated a mixed response, but the magnitude of fear and resistance could be counterproductive." Admiral Lansing mused, "While direct action is necessary, we should also think long-term. Perhaps, once the Federation's envoy arrives, we can propose an exchange program, cultural showcases, direct interactions. It could be the bridge we need. Talon nodded thoughtfully. It's a possibility, and one that I believe the Federation might be amenable to. However, we must tread with care. Humanity, in its diversity, will need time to adjust. And as the days passed, the world indeed took its time. Communities debated, families reflected, and individuals grappled with the reality of a universe much larger than they'd ever imagined. The vastness of space and the promise of new allies and challenges lay ahead, but for now, Earth paused, taking a collective breath as it processed its place in the grand cosmic narrative. The arrival. 2 weeks had passed since the revelation of humanity's origins, and the collective spirit of Earth had undergone a profound metamorphosis. The once fiery protests had now subdued to a persistent simmer, largely confined to pockets of non-believers, some of whom were spiritual leaders with vast followings. Their distrust would be a challenge in the days to come, but for now, Earth presented a facade of unity, especially under the aegis of the United Nations. As the Galactic Federation's envoy approached, anticipation reached a fever pitch. Genesis Station, orbiting Earth, was abuzz with activity. Admiral Lansing, alongside the UN Secretary-General, prepared to receive the otherworldly guests. When the Federation's ships appeared in Earth's orbit, they dwarfed any human-made structure. 2 colossal battlecruisers, with intricate designs and lights that shimmered like stars, flanked a smaller but no less impressive diplomatic vessel. Their sheer size was awe-inspiring, reinforcing Earth's nascent position in the cosmic hierarchy. The envoy made its first stop at Genesis Station. Delegates of varying appearances disembarked, some humanoid, some not, but all exuding an aura of sophistication and power. Their technology, with devices that seemed to function on mere thought, and their mannerisms painted them as beings from a world or worlds far more advanced. Admiral Lansing, stepping forward, tried to mask his awe. "Welcome to Genesis Station, representatives of the Galactic Federation." One of the envoys, a tall being with iridescent skin, responded, "Thank you, Admiral Lansing. We've observed Earth from afar, but witnessing your home and achievements up close is enlightening." The delegation was then given a brief overview of Earth's history, highlighting the strides humanity had made. Yet when they learned of the world wars and other conflicts, there was palpable concern. The iridescent-skinned envoy, who introduced herself as Ambassador Thylia, remarked, "Such internal strife on a planetary scale is rare. It's something we'll need to consider." Their arrival on Earth was nothing short of historic. As their diplomatic craft descended, millions gathered to witness the moment. Screens across the globe broadcasted the event, capturing every detail. Upon landing, the envoys were escorted to the United Nations headquarters. The General Assembly had been convened in their honor, and the hall was filled to capacity. Flags of all member nations flanked the stage, symbolizing Earth's unity. The UN Secretary-General began, "On behalf of all of humanity, we welcome you to our planet. May this be the start of a harmonious relationship." Ambassador Thylia, standing at the podium, responded, "We come in peace and hope for mutual growth. The Federation has long been a consortium of civilizations, and perhaps in time humanity can join our ranks." However, during the discussions that followed, cultural and communicative challenges became evident. At one point, a delegate from Earth referenced grasping the olive branch, a symbol of peace. This seemed to cause confusion among some Federation members until Thylia clarified, hinting at the nuances of interstellar diplomacy. Further, a suggestion to showcase Earth's diverse cuisine at a banquet seemed to be met with hesitation. Dietary differences and the concept of consuming organic matter might be alien to some Federation species. Yet amidst these challenges, there were moments of profound connection. A shared appreciation for art, music, and the wonders of the cosmos hinted at common threads that bound all sentient beings. As the meeting concluded, the Secretary-General summarized the sentiment. "We have much to learn from each other and many bridges to build, but today we've taken the first step." In the days that followed, Earthlings everywhere processed the historic events. While there was awe and hope, there was also apprehension. Earth was truly no longer alone in the universe, and the path ahead, while promising, was shrouded in uncertainty. Forgotten by Design, Part 10. Question Time. Inside the cavernous United Nations Hall, the atmosphere was thick with anticipation. Arrayed around a vast table were representatives of humanity, diplomats, scientists, scholars, and leaders. Facing them were members of the Galactic Federation, each looking as diverse and enigmatic as the cosmos itself. Ambassador Thylia, with her iridescent skin, initiated the dialogue. "You have questions about the Federation. We are here to answer." Dr. Helena Alvarez, a renowned astrophysicist, began, "For starters, how long has the Federation been in existence?" Thylia responded, "By Earth's reckoning, the Galactic Federation has existed for approximately 500,000 years. We were formed when a group of advanced civilizations recognized the need for collaboration amidst the vastness of the cosmos." General Thompson, a decorated military official, inquired, "How expansive is the Federation? How many members does it comprise?" A delegate, with multiple appendages resembling arms, replied, "The Federation spans approximately 1/3 of the Milky Way and is composed of 327 distinct member civilizations. Our combined territories serve as hubs of knowledge, commerce, and exploration." Dr. Alvarez's voice quivered with excitement. "And our own history? How were we engineered?" Ambassador Thylia sighed. "It is a tale that begins with Dr. Lyrian's fascination for a primate species. Using intricate genetic manipulation, he tailored certain attributes: limb length, brain capacity, traits like curiosity, aggression, empathy. His work was part research, part necessity due to the conflict with the Krillar." Silence pervaded the room, only to be broken by Dr. Ram Patel, a biologist. "We've noticed a significant disparity in our lifespans compared to most Federation species. Is there a reason for our relatively short lives?" Thylia nodded. "Yes, many member species of the Federation have lifespans averaging around 250 Earth years. Some live considerably longer. Your shorter lifespan is a vestige of the primate base from which you were created. Dr. Lyrian did make some adjustments, but lifespans weren't the primary focus." Secretary General Miriam Weiss spoke up. "Is there an opportunity for us to meet these primates, our ancestors?" Thylia's eyes glinted with warmth. "It's possible. We can arrange for a select delegation to visit their habitat." Dr. Patel, curiosity evident in his tone, asked, "Do they share any of our cognitive capacities?" "No," Thylia replied. "While they possess intelligence, it's not to the degree of cognitive complexity exhibited by humans." The questions flowed, each revealing a tapestry of knowledge and experience. "How does the Federation manage disputes among such a diverse consortium?" asked General Thompson. "Through mediation and a council representing each member species. The goal is always harmony and understanding," replied a delegate with fluid movements, resembling water. "Do you possess a shared language or means of communication?" queried linguist Professor Aisha Mubarak. "We utilize a combination of universal translators and a shared language developed over millennia," Thylia answered. One final question came from a young intern who had been silently observing. "How do humans fit into this vast canvas? Is our role merely a relic of a past war?" Thylia paused, measuring her words. "While your genesis is tied to conflict, your potential is not defined by it. The Federation sees promise in humanity, not just as warriors, but as thinkers, artists, and explorers. You have a unique blend of traits that could enrich our collective." As the meeting concluded, the weight of revelations and the promise of the future intertwined. Humanity stood on the precipice of a new era, with the cosmos beckoning and the Federation offering a hand of alliance and understanding. The visit now over. The waning days of the Federation's historic visit to Earth were marked with a whirlwind of activity. Their representatives had crisscrossed continents, soaking in the rich tapestry of cultures, the diverse landscapes, and the indomitable spirit of humanity. From the bustling streets of Tokyo to the tranquil beaches of Brazil, from the soaring Alps to the vast savannas of Africa, Earth had put on a show, and the aliens were deeply impressed. Within the sprawling assembly hall of the United Nations, the Federation's lead representative, Ambassador Thylia, stood at the podium, flanked by her entourage and the Secretary General of the UN. Her skin shimmered with an iridescent glow, the effect of Earth's sunlight on her alien physiology. "Your species has accomplished much in a short time," she began, her voice echoing through the room. "The arts, sciences, and depth of emotion exhibited by humans are truly remarkable. While we brought you into existence, you have charted your own destiny, defined your own narratives. And it is clear to us that, left to your own devices, you will reach the stars on your own. But we also perceive potential pitfalls, moments where guidance, not interference, could be beneficial." A murmur rippled through the hall. The weight of her words was heavy on everyone's mind. The realization that they were on the cusp of a new era, an era of interstellar cooperation and potential, was exhilarating. Ambassador Thilia continued, "We will soon depart, but before we do, we extend an invitation. We wish to take a delegation of humans to the heart of the Federation. Admiral Lansing, you have been specifically requested. The others will be your choice, representing the best of humanity." A spotlight shifted onto Admiral Lansing, his uniform pristine and his expression stoic. He nodded in acknowledgement, the weight of responsibility clear in his eyes. "As for ongoing relations," Thilia gestured towards Talon, who stood tall and proud. "Talon will serve as Earth's ambassador to the Federation, ensuring a permanent line of communication and understanding between our peoples." Applause broke out, a sound of unity and hope. But beyond the pomp and circumstance, preparations were already underway. Lansing, with a select committee, would decide on the delegation to represent Earth. There were scientists, diplomats, artists, and thinkers to consider. In the days that followed, excitement was palpable. Humanity was about to get a first-hand look at the galaxy, to interact with civilizations older than their wildest imaginations. Stories would be exchanged, relationships forged, and perhaps new horizons of understanding would emerge. Amidst the preparations, Admiral Lansing found a rare moment of solitude on the balcony of the United Nations building. He gazed upwards, the vast expanse of the night sky stretched before him, dotted with twinkling stars. Each one of those celestial points held the promise of undiscovered worlds and civilizations. A few weeks ago, he was a man with a routine, overseeing operations on the Genesis space station, the pinnacle of human space exploration. And now, destiny had fast-tracked him to a journey to the heart of the Galactic Federation. A sense of wonder and disbelief gripped him. It felt like a dream, and he half expected to wake up to the familiar hum of the space station, but the cool night air and distant city sounds anchored him to the reality of the moment. His path had changed, and the universe had become both more vast and more accessible than he could have ever imagined. However, not all shared the joy and anticipation. As Admiral Lansing and his chosen delegates readied themselves for the interstellar journey, a shadowy figure observed from a distance. Hidden in the alleyways, the figure watched, a device in hand that blinked ominously. Whether driven by fear, distrust, or a darker motive, a storm was brewing, threatening to disrupt humanity's first steps into the wider galaxy. In the depths of the night, whispers spread about a potential threat to the mission. Security protocols were heightened, and the world held its breath, hoping that the dream of a united Earth reaching for the stars would not be shattered before it could truly begin. Forgotten by Design, Part 11, Departure. The massive doors of the Federation ship sealed behind them with a gentle hiss. Admiral Lansing, leading the selected human ambassadors, took a moment to adjust to the ambient light of the ship's interior, a serene blend of soft blues and purples. The floor beneath them hummed, a gentle vibration indicating the ship was preparing for departure. "Welcome aboard the Starbearer," Talon greeted, his voice echoing slightly inside the expansive entrance chamber. "This will be your home for the next few days as we journey to the Galactic Federation's core." Lansing took in the expanse of the ship, from its high vaulted ceilings adorned with alien hieroglyphs to its sleek interfaces glowing with unreadable text. "It's incredible," he whispered, a sentiment echoed by murmurs of agreement from the human delegates behind him. As the ship started moving, a window display opened up to the star-filled vastness of space. The stars ahead began to shimmer and pulse, their light growing brighter and then dimming in a rhythmic pattern. Suddenly, the ship surged forward, the stars blurring into continuous streaks of luminescence. "We're engaging our FTL drive," Talon explained, noting the humans' surprise. It stands for faster than light. Even with our advanced technology, traversing the vast distances of the cosmos demands such propulsion systems. Without it, journeys like ours would take lifetimes. The sensation was unlike anything Lansing had ever experienced, a combination of vertigo and exhilaration. But as quickly as it began, the feeling tapered off, and the stars ceased their high-speed streaking. In the distance, a colossal cosmic nebula slowly moved past. Lansing stared in disbelief at the speed they were traveling. As the journey continued, Talon took on the role of educator, detailing the Federation's vast history which spanned millennia. He spoke of ancient interstellar wars, alliances forged and broken, and the unending quest for knowledge and understanding. He spoke of cultures that communicated through song, species that lived in gas giants, and civilizations that had achieved true unity. It's a complex web, the Federation. While we strive for peace, there are disagreements, politics, and struggles for power and influence, Talon elaborated. Dr. Helena, one of the human ambassadors and a historian by profession, was eager to know more. How did the Federation manage to keep such a vast expanse of different species united? She inquired. Talon's eyes dimmed thoughtfully. Balance. The Federation's primary principle is balance, recognizing the importance and value of each member species and ensuring their voices are heard. It's not perfect, but it's what has kept us together. As days turned into nights, though without a sun, the concept became abstract. The human ambassadors gathered frequently, discussing among themselves. Some were in awe, others overwhelmed, but all felt the weight of their mission. They shared stories of their families, their homes, and their dreams for the future. In one such gathering, Lansing sat with a younger delegate, Maria, who was a celebrated physicist. "Did you ever think," she began, her voice quivering with a mix of excitement and nervousness, "that we'd be here, Admiral, crossing the stars?" Lansing smiled, looking out at the vast expanse of the universe stretching before them. "No, I didn't. But that's the beauty of life, isn't it? The unpredictability. We're here, and we're going to make the most of it." Throughout the journey, it was evident that the bond between Talon and Lansing had deepened. They were frequently seen in deep conversation, with Talon sharing more about his life and experiences, and Lansing discussing Earth's challenges and triumphs. The trip was not just a physical journey across the galaxy, but a profound journey of understanding and growth for the human delegates. As the Federation Corps neared, they felt a collective mix of anticipation and responsibility, ready to represent humanity in this new chapter of its existence. An audience with the galaxy. The gentle hum of the ship intensified slightly as they entered the star system, heralding their approach to the Galactic Federation's capital. Admiral Lansing and the human ambassadors gathered by the viewing port, eager to take in their first sight of this interstellar hub. As they neared the system's center, a flotilla of ships of all shapes and sizes converged on their vessel. Bright flashes of light emanated from some, which Talon explained were greetings in various alien languages. "That ship over there," Talon pointed to a sleek silver vessel with wings that glowed a soft blue, "belongs to the Ilari. They're a species of great artists and philosophers. Their excitement stems from a deep-rooted belief that new species bring fresh perspectives and inspiration." Another ship, this one more organic in appearance, pulsated with a soft amber glow. "The Vortaxians," Talon continued. "They're one of the oldest races in the Federation. They value knowledge above all and see the humans as a new chapter in their vast libraries." As the Starbearer finally docked at the Central Space Station, the ambassador's eyes widened in awe. The sheer scale of the station dwarfed everything they had ever known. Towering spires, vast parks floating in zero gravity, and beings of various shapes, sizes, and colors mingling and communicating. "It's overwhelming," whispered Dr. Helena, her historian's mind racing to capture every detail. The human delegates were escorted to their quarters, grand rooms with walls that morphed to show serene landscapes from Earth. This touch, added to make them feel at home, was deeply appreciated. Over the next few days, their schedules were packed. They attended diplomatic receptions where they were introduced to leaders of various member species. At a more relaxed cultural exchange session, they shared Earth's music, art, and literature, while in return, they experienced alien dances, holographic art, and listened to melodies that resonated in frequencies beyond human comprehension. But not all interactions were smooth. At one dinner, an envoy from a species called the krilt expressed skepticism about humanity's rapid technological growth, hinting at potential dangers. However, Ambassador Thilia gracefully navigated the conversation, emphasizing Earth's desire for peaceful collaboration. The pinnacle of their visit was the assembly before the Galactic Federation Council. The vast hall was unlike anything they had ever seen. Floating platforms held representatives of countless species, each tier giving a panoramic view of the center stage. Talon, who had been their guide and friend throughout this journey, took a moment to brief them. Remember, every species here once had their moment, their introduction. Be true to yourselves. Be true to Earth. Admiral Lansing, chosen to speak on behalf of humanity, stepped forward. The hall quieted, countless eyes and other sensory organs focused on him. He felt a weight on his shoulders, a weight of representing an entire species, an entire world. Members of the Galactic Federation, he began, his voice echoing across the vast chamber. We come in peace, with a desire to learn, to share, and to be a part of this grand tapestry of civilizations. We bring with us our history, our dreams, our failures, and our hopes. We thank you for welcoming us, and we hope to contribute to the Federation's future. The hall erupted in a cacophony of sounds, applause, cheers, and other gestures of approval in myriad alien languages. As the assembly drew to a close, Lansing felt a hand on his shoulder. It was Talon. You did well, he said, his voice filled with pride. Welcome to the galaxy. The show had indeed begun, and Earth's role in this interstellar dance was just taking its first steps. Forgotten by Design, Part 12, A Tour of Wonder. The galactic capital city was unlike anything the human ambassadors had ever seen. Buildings soared into the sky, their architecture a blend of organic curves and angular geometry. Streets were aglow with holographic signs in a myriad of alien languages, and walkways floated in the air, connected by transporter pads. Hovering vehicles moved gracefully between structures, and even the air seemed to shimmer with a luminescent quality. Amidst this majestic sprawl, the human delegates felt an overwhelming mix of awe and insignificance. The bustling capital represented a collective of civilizations, each contributing its unique signature to the kaleidoscope of the city. Every corner held a new surprise: a park with bioluminescent plants, a plaza with an ethereal musical performance by a multi-armed species, or a museum displaying ancient artifacts from civilizations the humans hadn't even heard of. Leading the way was Talon, his usually stern demeanor replaced by a more animated one. As they walked, he pointed out the highlights, recounting tales of the Federation's evolution. This city, he began, has been the heart of the Federation for over 10 millennia. It has witnessed the rise and integration of countless species, each bringing their unique strengths and cultures. He gestured to a magnificent floating structure. That is the Institute of Galactic Knowledge, he explained, a place where the collected wisdom of the universe is stored. Some of the technology and science there are eons old, while some are the very cutting edge of discovery. Passing by a busy marketplace, the scent of exotic foods wafted through the air. Alien merchants beckoned the humans to try their goods, displaying colorful fruits, shimmering fabrics, and intricate jewelry. The delegates watched in amazement as a stall showcased levitating pots, while another offered glimpses into different dimensions. Talon paused before a massive holographic monument that displayed scenes of various alien races joining the Federation. These are the milestones of our Federation, he said. Every race that joins enriches us, strengthening the bonds of cooperation and understanding. Our values lie in unity, diversity, and the pursuit of knowledge. As they continued their journey, Admiral Lansing was engrossed in the stories and sights. However, as they turned into another bustling alley filled with stalls and shops, something caught his eye. Amidst the crowd, he thought he glimpsed a familiar figure, a human child, looking lost and out of place. Lansing's heart raced. The child's eyes met his for a fleeting moment, echoing fear and confusion. But as quickly as he'd seen the child, the throng of alien beings swallowed up the vision. "Wait!" Lansing called out, trying to push through the crowd, but the density and the unfamiliarity of the surroundings made it difficult. A hand on his shoulder brought him back. It was Talon. "Admiral Lansing, you seem troubled. What did you see?" Lansing hesitated. "I thought I saw a human child, but that's impossible, isn't it?" Talon looked at him with a mix of concern and curiosity. "This city holds many wonders, Admiral, and illusions are not uncommon in some of these marketplaces. It could have been a trick of the light or a reflection." Lansing wasn't convinced, but nodded. The sheer implausibility of the situation made him question his own senses. "Let's continue," he finally said, although the image of the child's face remained etched in his mind. As they moved on, the mysteries of the galaxy unfurled around them, but for Lansing, a new personal mystery had taken root, one that he was determined to unravel. Earth's Grand Presentation. In the heart of the Galactic Council chambers, a vast, tiered auditorium awaited the human ambassadors. Every seat was occupied by representatives of countless alien races, each with unique features and hues, ranging from those with feathered adornments to those with intricate patterns on their skins. The chamber buzzed with anticipation, a cacophony of murmurs in languages the humans could only guess at. Taking center stage, Admiral Lansing adjusted his uniform and cleared his throat. "Honored members of the Galactic Council," he began, his voice echoing through advanced translation devices. "Today we present to you the story of Earth and its inhabitants." As he spoke, a giant holographic screen illuminated behind him. Images of Earth's vast landscapes, majestic mountains, sprawling forests, and endless oceans danced across it. With a wave of his hand, Lansing beckoned the presentation to begin. Scenes from early human civilizations appeared, ancient Egyptians constructing the pyramids, the Great Wall of China snaking its way across mountains, Romans building their vast empire. The chamber was filled with awe-stricken silence as the aliens watched humanity's history unfold. The presentation touched on darker times, wars, plagues, and natural disasters, but it also showcased humanity's resilience, our ability to rebuild and to learn from our mistakes. The rise and fall of empires gave way to moments of unification, the formation of nations, and eventually, global cooperation. Our history is a tale of conflict and cooperation, of challenges met and obstacles overcome, voiced Dr. Amelia Evans, a historian in the delegation. She gestured to the screen, which now showcased artistic and cultural achievements. Images of the Mona Lisa, Starry Night, and ancient cave paintings gave way to snippets of Beethoven's symphonies and Beatles songs. From the corner of the stage, another delegate activated a VR experience, allowing council members to immerse themselves momentarily in human cultural festivals, from the vibrant colors of India's Holi to the intricate masks of Venice's Carnival. The segment on technological advancement garnered keen interest. Displays of the wheel's invention, the printing press, the internet, and humanity's first steps into space elicited murmurs of appreciation. But when the human team showcased their breakthroughs in DNA manipulation, gene sequencing, and bioengineering, the room's atmosphere palpably shifted. It seemed that, in this vast federation, the intricate dance of human genetics and our expertise in these fields held a unique allure. As the presentation neared its end, the human team unveiled a banquet of Earth's diverse cuisines. Delicacies from every continent were on display: sushi from Japan, rich curries from India, intricate pastries from France, and barbecued meats from Australia. Using advanced replication technology, samples were provided to the council members, allowing them a literal taste of Earth. When the last image faded, the room was silent for what felt like an eternity. Then, a council member from a race known as the Zalarians stood. Her form, with a skin that had a luminescent quality, reflected light in soft, radiant waves. "Your mastery of genetics and bioengineering is impressive," she commented, her voice musical. "The ability to map and manipulate DNA to such an extent is rare. It opens doors to many collaborative opportunities." Another representative, a towering figure covered in iridescent scales, rose. "Your arts, music, and culture have depth and emotion," he remarked. "It adds a unique flavor to the galactic community. However, with such rapid advancement, how do you ensure the ethical implications of your discoveries are considered?" Lansing nodded. acknowledging the question. "It's a challenge," he admitted, "but it's one we constantly strive to address through global dialogues, ethical committees, and an inherent drive to better ourselves." The murmurs grew louder as council members discussed among themselves. It was evident that Earth had made a lasting impression. The human delegates could only hope that the impression was a favorable one, signaling the beginning of a new era of interstellar collaboration. Forgotten by Design, Part 13. Foundations of Exchange. In the luminous council chamber, buzzing with a myriad of alien dialects, there was a distinct air of anticipation. The room, designed with intricate architectural marvels, resonated with harmony and unity, a reflection of the Council's objective of fostering intergalactic cooperation. The Galactic Council's spokesperson, a tall, dignified being named Saran, with iridescent scales, rose to address the gathering. "We have been presented with a unique opportunity to embark on a joint venture of immeasurable value. The human delegation from Earth has shown not just the richness of their past, but the potential of their future." Beside Admiral Lansing stood Earth's primary diplomat, Ambassador Thylia, who nodded in agreement, her expression confident and hopeful. She had been instrumental in designing the proposed cultural and technology exchange program. She addressed the Council, her voice steady and eloquent. "The essence of progress lies in shared knowledge and mutual growth. We are eager to learn from the vast expanse of the Galactic Federation's millennia-old history, just as we are keen to showcase what Earth has achieved in its comparatively short existence." The detailed framework of the program was projected onto a holographic screen for everyone to view. It outlined joint ventures in various fields: medicine, engineering, arts, and more. There was a particular emphasis on ensuring that the exchange was bidirectional, promoting shared learning and mutual respect. Several council members voiced their support, with a few raising constructive queries. It was evident that while they were curious and enthusiastic about this collaboration, they also wanted to ensure its smooth and efficient implementation. Admiral Lansing, sensing the pivotal nature of this moment, decided to personally communicate with Earth about the developments. Using the Federation's advanced communication system, he sent a detailed report back home. The message began, "To the leaders and people of Earth, I am elated to convey the promising progress we've made." He wrote about the positive reception of their historical presentation, the establishment of the exchange program, and the potential benefits this could bring to humanity. Lansing expressed his hope that Earth would see a rapid and transformative inflow of knowledge and technology, potentially catapulting human civilization to new heights. On Earth, the reception of this message was nothing short of ecstatic. The head of the extraterrestrial exchange program, Dr. Eleanor Cassidy, after reading Lansing's update, immediately convened a meeting with global leaders and experts. There was unanimous agreement. They needed to prepare, and they needed to do so fast. Labs, cultural centers, and universities were informed, workshops were devised, and an entire infrastructure was set in motion to ensure Earth was ready for this unprecedented exchange. Back at the Federation's capital, as Lansing and Thylia walked through the vast corridors reflecting on the day's events, the Admiral sighed in contentment. "We're making history, Thylia," he remarked. Thylia nodded, her gaze fixed on the horizon where stars shimmered with endless possibilities. "Indeed, Admiral, and this is just the beginning." Planning. In the sweeping azure chambers of the Federation's main educational complex, the human ambassadors gathered, their faces a mix of anticipation and wonder. This was the first of many sessions they would attend to understand the nuances of the upcoming exchange program. Jen, a brilliant Federation scientist with a sleek silver form and multiple articulate appendages, initiated the orientation. "Welcome, esteemed representatives of Earth," his voice boomed in a serene yet authoritative tone. "Today marks the beginning of our journey towards mutual enlightenment." The first session revolved around technology. Holographic displays showcased marvels the Federation had achieved: anti-gravitational systems, quantum computing networks, and bioregenerative medical devices that could heal without a trace. While all the ambassadors marveled at these achievements, some with backgrounds in technology and science seemed particularly engrossed. Ambassador Mia Nguyen, with a background in aerospace engineering, raised a query. The anti-gravitational systems you showcased, could they be adapted to Earth's specific gravitational pull and atmospheric conditions? Jen tilted his head thoughtfully. It's a valid consideration. Through our exchange, we aim to modify and adapt our technologies to suit Earth's environment. Collaboration will be key. Subsequent sessions revolved around arts, culture, and philosophy. Earth's ambassadors were introduced to alien art forms, some of which challenged the very perception of senses. There were symphonies of color that resonated as sound, abstract art that invoked emotions through telepathy, and philosophical teachings that transcended the limits of time and matter. As engrossing as the sessions were, what truly captivated the Earth representatives was the mutual interest and respect shown by the Federation races. Many were genuinely intrigued by Earth's history, its challenges, its successes, and the resilience of humanity. One of the notable expressions of this curiosity came during a session on biological advancements. As Earth's data on recent breakthroughs in human DNA manipulation was presented, a sudden buzz filled the room. Many Federation members leaned forward, their varied eyes, sensors, or perception organs fixated on the presented data. It was Varric, a representative from a race known for its biotechnological prowess, who voiced the sentiment echoing in the chamber. Humanity's strides in genetic advancement are commendable. The potential applications, especially in healing and adaptability, could benefit not just Earth but many Federation races. We are eager to delve deeper into this. Days filled with fervent discussions and brainstorming sessions soon followed. Ideas flowed, partnerships formed, and it was clear that the upcoming exchange program would not be a mere formality. It promised transformative growth for all involved. As the orientation neared its conclusion, Ambassador Thylia took a moment to address the gathering. "We stand at the precipice of a new era," she began, her voice filled with emotion. "An era where Earth not only learns but contributes. We're grateful for this opportunity and excited for what the future holds." As the human delegation left the complex, they carried with them not just newfound knowledge, but also a profound sense of belonging to a larger, more intricate tapestry of life in the galaxy. Lingering shadows. The vastness of the Galactic Federation capital's marketplace was like none other Admiral Lansing had seen. Stalls floated, sellers communicated in countless languages, and products from across galaxies glowed, hummed, or even danced. Yet amidst this mesmerizing cacophony, Lansing was on a singular mission, to find a semblance of clarity about the fleeting image he'd seen days ago. As he wandered through the marketplace's maze, Lansing looked for anything familiar, a hairstyle, an outfit, or even the way someone moved. But the child's face had been but a brief flash in his memory. He began approaching vendors, showing them a sketch he had drawn of a human child, hoping against hope for some form of recognition. A vendor selling radiant fabrics from the Orion arm stared at the sketch, her eyes, a kaleidoscope of colors, narrowing in concentration. "No," she finally uttered, her voice a melodic chime. "I haven't seen this being." He received similar responses everywhere he went. An entity with flowing liquid form said he had never seen a human child, while a vendor with feather-like tendrils gently shook its head, its voice echoing like distant thunder. "Such a creature has never passed my stall." The suns began to set, casting long shadows over the marketplace, and Lansing's hope started to dwindle. Maybe he had imagined it. After all, the Federation's vastness was dizzying. It was possible that amidst the sensory overload, his mind had played a trick on him. A longing for home, perhaps, manifesting as a vision of humanity amidst the alien. With a heavy sigh, Lansing decided it was time to head back. He had a duty, and these distractions, no matter how personal, could not interfere with Earth's representation in the Federation. As he left, lost in thought, he remained unaware of the figure that watched from an alley's shadow. Cloaked in darkness, only the being's eyes were visible, reflecting the ambient light of the setting suns. The entity observed Lansing until he was out of sight, its intentions and identity shrouded in enigma. Back at the Federation Council quarters, Lansing tried to shake off the nagging feeling, but the weight of the unanswered question, the shadow of that fleeting glimpse, would linger in the back of his mind, beckoning him to uncover the truth behind the enigma. Forgotten by Design, Part 14, An Unexpected Visitor. The council quarters provided to Admiral Lansing were nothing short of luxurious. Decorated with sophisticated art from different parts of the galaxy and furnished with intricately designed pieces, it was a space fit for a dignitary. However, the fineries did little to put Lansing at ease. As he sat on the plush seat by the window, he gazed out into the alien skyline, a dance of colors and movements, light years away from home. The glow from foreign stars and the gentle hum of the floating city outside should have been soothing, but Lansing's thoughts were plagued by the fleeting image of the child in the market, an apparition that didn't fit into the vast cosmic puzzle he was piecing together. His fingers drummed on the armrest, tapping out the rhythm of his racing heartbeat. The echo of a soft knock broke his train of thought. It was an odd hour for visitors, and he wasn't expecting anyone. A little alert, he approached the door and, using the visual panel, saw the silhouette of a figure he recognized. It was Counselor Zerine, one of the most esteemed members of the Galactic Federation Council. His tall, slender form and elongated features denoted grace and wisdom. With a hint of surprise, Lansing activated the door mechanism. "Counselor Zerine," he greeted, his voice measured. "I wasn't expecting you. To what do I owe this late visit?" Zerine's usual stoic face held a gravitas that seemed even more profound tonight. "Admiral Lansing," he began, his voice gentle yet holding a gravity that underscored the urgency of his visit. "I apologize for the unexpected intrusion, but there is a matter of great sensitivity that I need to discuss with you. May I?" Understanding the seriousness of the situation, Lansing immediately gestured for him to come in, his military instincts sensing the weight of the upcoming conversation. "Of course, please," he replied, guiding the counselor to a sitting area. As Zerine took a seat, the ambient lights in the room dimmed slightly, adapting to the preferences of its current occupants. The atmosphere grew even more intimate, with only the distant lights of the floating city providing a soft glow. Zerine took a moment, collecting his thoughts. "I understand that your time here at the Federation has been overwhelming, to say the least," he started, "and while the journey so far has been primarily diplomatic and celebratory, not everything we encounter in this vast universe is simple or pleasant." Lansing nodded slowly, feeling a growing tension. "I'm listening, Counselor." The alien's eyes, deep pools of shimmering blue, locked onto Lansing's. "It's come to my attention, Admiral, that during your tour with Talon you may have seen something unexpected, something that has left you with more questions than answers." For a brief moment, Lansing's stoicism wavered, replaced by genuine surprise. The marketplace, the child, how did the counselor know? With a deep breath, he replied, "Yes, it's true. I thought I glimpsed a human child. I can't explain it, but it's been gnawing at me." Zerine nodded solemnly. "It's essential that you know the truths of our history, especially as your world prepares to join us. It won't be easy, but it is necessary." Lansing straightened, his senses sharp. "I'm ready to hear it, Counselor." Zerine leaned back, his gaze drifting momentarily to the night sky outside before refocusing on Lansing. "Very well, let's begin." And so, amidst the backdrop of an alien night, secrets from the annals of cosmic history prepared to unfold. Secrets of the Past. Counselor Zerine, looking even more majestic in the dim light of the chamber, took a deep, deliberate breath. "Admiral Lansing," he began, "our Federation has stood for eons, upholding peace, cooperation, and the advancement of knowledge. But like any vast entity, we have had elements that didn't align with our ideals." Lansing's brow furrowed, sensing the gravity of the revelation that was about to unfold. He sat still, eyes locked onto the counselor, waiting for him to continue. Zerine paused, choosing his words carefully. "Many millennia ago, rogue elements within our Federation made covert visits to your planet, Earth. Their motives were far from the values we hold dear. They saw potential in humanity's adaptability, resilience, and, of course, the very DNA that makes you unique." Lansing leaned forward, his curiosity mixed with a growing unease. What did they want with humans? The counselor's expression grew more somber. "These rogue factions saw your ancestors as assets, tools to be used for their gain. They abducted humans, taking them away from their homes, their families, their world. A cold shiver ran down Lansing's spine as the weight of Zerine's words began to settle. "You're telling me they were taken as slaves?" Zerine nodded gravely. "And more. Some were used for labor, others as subjects of research. It's a dark chapter in our history, one that we have worked hard to rectify." Lansing's voice, usually so strong and authoritative, shook with disbelief and anger. "How could this have gone unnoticed by the Federation?" The counselor sighed. "The universe is vast, Admiral, and while the Federation strives for oversight, these factions operated in the shadows. But once their actions came to light, we acted swiftly and decisively." Lansing leaned back, trying to process the enormity of what he was hearing. "So what happened to these humans?" Zerine's tone turned softer, carrying a hint of empathy. "We intervened, putting an end to the abductions and the illicit operations. Those humans who were taken couldn't be returned to Earth due to the vast knowledge and experiences they had acquired, which could have unforeseen consequences for their home world. But we ensured they were no longer treated as commodities. We provided them with sanctuary, protection, and the rights that every sentient being in the Federation is entitled to." Lansing's eyes widened. "Are they still here?" "Yes," Zerine nodded. "These individuals over time integrated into our society. We gave them a new designation, Orions, referring to Earth's position in the Orion arm of the Milky Way. They've built lives, families, and identities here. Some have even joined our space navy, contributing to our collective goals." There was a long pause as Lansing absorbed this information. The thought of humans, his ancestors potentially, living among the stars for millennia was both awe-inspiring and heartbreaking. Breaking the silence, Lansing spoke. "I'd like to meet them if possible, to understand their perspective, their experiences." Zerine nodded understandingly. "It can be arranged. But, Admiral, it's essential you approach this with an open mind. Their experiences, while rooted in Earth's history, have evolved over millennia. Their narratives will be diverse and may not align with what we know or expect." Lansing nodded, determination burning in his eyes. "I understand, Counselor. This is a part of our shared history, no matter how painful. It's vital that we understand, learn, and move forward." Zerine, impressed by Lansing's resolve, responded, "Indeed, Admiral, we'll ensure you have this opportunity." As the weight of the revelation settled, both men knew that this was just the beginning of a profound journey of discovery and reconciliation. Facing the truth. Admiral Lansing sat in the quiet of his quarters, the hum of the space station barely audible. The room, which had earlier provided a comforting respite from the intricacies of interstellar diplomacy, now felt like a pressure chamber. The revelations from Counselor Zerine played in a loop in his mind, making it difficult to focus on anything else. He rose from his seat, pacing restlessly. The thought of humans, separated from their home, their lineage lost and reframed as Orions, was a harrowing realization. That such abductions had taken place, that a part of humanity's story was intricately woven with the stars. This was a truth Lansing had never fathomed. His fingers brushed against the proclamation Zerine had handed him. It was a meticulously crafted document, written in the universal language of the Federation, but with key details translated into human dialects for his understanding. As Lansing skimmed through the proclamation, he noted the unmistakable tone of remorse and responsibility. The Federation had genuinely tried to right a grievous wrong, granting the displaced humans rights, protection, and an identity. The proclamation detailed the locations and societies where the Orions had settled, the roles they'd taken on, and the efforts made to ensure their well-being. Many had chosen to reside in urban centers of various planets, forming tight-knit communities. A few had ascended to significant positions within the Federation, while others led simple lives, having found solace in the vast expanses of the cosmos. Lansing's heart ached as he imagined their stories, their memories of Earth, however distant, mingling with experiences in the Federation. Their culture would be a tapestry of Earth's history and their adopted home's traditions. He yearned to hear their tales, to understand their journey, and most importantly, to reconnect with this lost fragment of humanity. His train of thought was interrupted by a soft chime on his communication device. An encrypted message from the council member awaited him. Meeting arranged with representatives of the Orion's community tomorrow at the Galactic Nexus Hall. Lansing felt a mixture of anticipation and anxiety. How would the Orions perceive him? Would they view him as one of them or as a stranger from a past they'd long since moved on from? He attempted to sleep, seeking a brief escape from the whirlwind of emotions, but sleep remained elusive. His mind was filled with questions, images of faces he hadn't yet met but felt inexplicably connected to. Would they resemble Earth humans? Or had millennia in different environments molded them differently? Did they carry tales of Earth, passed down through generations? Or had the memories faded, replaced by new histories, new cultures, and new experiences? As the night deepened and the first hues of the galactic dawn began to shimmer outside his window, Lansing was filled with a determination. Regardless of the challenges and complexities that lay ahead, he would bridge the gulf of time and space. Earth's long-lost children deserved to know their origins, and humanity needed to embrace this newfound chapter of its vast, intricate saga. The reunion would be more than a mere meeting. It would be a celebration of resilience, of shared histories, and a future that held the promise of unity, understanding, and redemption. Forgotten by Design, Part 15, Meeting the Orions. The grand chamber hummed with a gentle ambience, softly lit by a combination of Earth-like tones and the Federation's radiant glow. Admiral Lansing entered, his heart full of anticipation. On his wrist, a Federation translator device blinked, ready to bridge the language gap. A delegation of the Orions awaited him. Their human features were evident, with nuances shaped by generations spent in the stars. Their clothing was a patchwork of Earth's historical epics, combined with the modern aesthetics of the Federation. Their eyes, deep and knowing, told of a history interwoven with Earth's but expanded among the cosmos. A woman with hair as dark as the void of space stepped forward. She spoke, her words converted smoothly by Lansing's translator. "Admiral Lansing, welcome. I am Arya, a representative of the Orions. We're honored to meet one from Earth, from our original home." Lansing nodded, grateful for the technology that allowed seamless communication. "The pleasure is mine, Arya. Your stories, your heritage, I'm here to learn." With a nod, Arya introduced Lansing to her kin. Each had a tale to tell, each a fragment of Earth's vast history. A middle-aged man presented a small artifact, an intricately designed scarab beetle carved in turquoise stone, a symbol of ancient Egypt. "My ancestor," he began, "was taken from the shadow of the pyramids. This scarab was a token of protection and luck, and it remains with our family here, far from the sands of Egypt." Next, a woman with an air of regal poise approached, offering a delicately crafted golden coin. The visage of an ancient Roman emperor shone from its surface. "From the time of the mighty Roman Empire," she said with a touch of pride, "my forebearer was plucked from the heart of Rome." She carried this coin, a day's wage for a soldier, now a priceless link to our history. Arya, witnessing Lansing's fascination, added, "The sanctuary granted by the Federation 150 years ago was a beacon of hope. Before that decree, we were nameless, used, and exploited. The decree gave us not just a name, Orions, but rights, respect, and a refuge." Lansing took a moment to process. "Your gratitude towards the Federation, it's evident. They righted a terrible wrong." Arya nodded. "Indeed. Once the transgressions came to light, the Federation acted. We were freed from our shackles, given this sanctuary and the promise of a better life. We found purpose, homes, families. Over time, the Federation became our home." Moved, Lansing asked the question weighing on his heart. "Have you ever considered returning to Earth? With the recent developments and the impending alliance, it might be possible." A thoughtful silence hung in the air before an elder Orion spoke. "Earth, for all its allure, is but a distant memory, a tale from our ancestors. Here in the Federation, we've carved out lives. There are Orions spread across the Federation, from farmers tilling alien soil, traders exploring distant markets, to those serving in the Navy, guarding the very sanctuary we were granted." Arya added, "While Earth remains in our hearts and tales, the Federation is now our home." Lansing's respect for the Orions grew. Their journey from abducted ancestors to finding purpose and identity amongst the stars was a testament to the human spirit's adaptability and resilience. The meeting, though short, left an indelible mark on Lansing's understanding of humanity's larger role in the cosmos. The legacy. Still in the council chamber, surrounded by historical relics and the palpable essence of the Orion's ancestors, Admiral Lansing was now keen to understand the more recent trajectory of these displaced humans within the Federation. Arya, sensing the Admiral's inquisitiveness, gestured to a hollow panel on the side of the room. With a simple touch, the chamber transformed. Holographic vignettes showcasing various Orion individuals in diverse settings within the Federation played out around them. Lansing watched as the tapestry of the Orion's integration and rise in the Federation unfurled. A segment highlighted the Orion's enlistment in the Federation's Navy. Young Orion recruits, wearing the standard Navy blues, undertook rigorous training, displaying a natural proclivity for space navigation and tactical reasoning. "Many of our people found their calling in the Navy," Arya commented. "Their unique blend of earthborn tenacity, wit, and courage proved invaluable in the vast expanse of space. Some have even risen to positions of command, navigating uncharted territories and ensuring the Federation's safety." The display shifted, revealing Orion individuals working as aides to Federation counselors. Their in-depth knowledge of human diplomacy, history, and strategy made them valued consultants. Lansing could see these Orion aides in crucial negotiations, their Earth-learned tact and wit evident in their interactions, ensuring the Federation made sound decisions that accounted for the complexities of the cosmos. "Your people seem to have an innate gift for understanding nuances, for seeing layers that others might overlook," remarked Lansing, clearly impressed. Arya nodded with pride. "Our ancestors' stories of survival, perseverance, and adaptability have been passed down through generations. These tales have become part of our DNA, guiding us, enabling us to approach challenges with a unique perspective." Another shift in the hologram showcased Orion scientists working diligently alongside their Federation counterparts in state-of-the-art labs. Their keen sense of curiosity, a trait deeply rooted in their human lineage, drove them to question, explore, and innovate. Several breakthroughs in energy conversion, propulsion, and life support systems bear the mark of Orion ingenuity, Arya mentioned. Their ability to approach challenges with fresh perspectives, combined with the Federation's advanced technology, led to innovations that have greatly benefited many within the Federation. But it wasn't just in formal institutions that the Orions had carved a niche. Lansing watched as holograms depicted Orions piloting their own trading ships, crisscrossing Federation space, bringing goods from one planet to another. Their ventures not only brought economic benefits, but also tales of adventures, discoveries, and new friendships from the far reaches of the galaxy. "These traders, they're like the explorers of old Earth, aren't they?" Lansing mused aloud. "Indeed," Arya responded. "Their stories of interstellar escapades, of new worlds discovered and friendships forged, keep the essence of human exploration alive. They've become our modern-day storytellers, linking our past with our present." The room returned to its original state, leaving Lansing contemplative. From the roots of abduction and adversity, the Orions had grown, interwoven their legacy into the fabric of the Federation, and become an indispensable part of its tapestry. Their journey spoke of the unyielding human spirit, of resilience, adaptability, and the innate desire to not just survive, but to thrive and contribute. "Your journey, the Orion's journey, it's a tribute to humanity's spirit," Lansing said, admiration evident in his voice. "From the adversities faced by your ancestors to the impactful contributions made by their descendants, it's a remarkable story of resilience and legacy." Arya nodded, her eyes shimmering with pride and gratitude. "We carry our past with us, Admiral, but we also look forward, eager to weave even more chapters into the Federation's story." The exchange begins. The Federation's spaceport, an impressive expanse of sleek buildings and vast launch platforms, was awash in the golden hues of the setting star. Its normally quiet demeanor had given way to a scene of frenetic activity. Delegates, diplomats, scientists, and crew members hurriedly prepared for the imminent journey to Earth. Amidst the hustle and bustle, Admiral Lansing stepped onto the platform, his gaze fixed on the vessel that had brought the human ambassadors, including Talon, to the Federation. The ship had undergone rapid refurbishments, its body gleaming with the promise of a new chapter of interstellar cooperation. Talon, who was overseeing the boarding process, noticed Lansing and approached him, his face a mix of excitement and reflection. "Admiral," he greeted, extending his hand. Lansing took it firmly. "Ambassador Talon, it seems. It's hard to believe how much has changed in just a few weeks." Talon nodded. "Indeed, Admiral. When I first visited Earth on that fateful day, I never imagined it would lead us here, to the precipice of a new beginning for both our worlds." The two leaders shared a moment of contemplation, understanding the gravity of what was about to unfold. Lansing finally broke the silence. "I wanted to personally come and see you off. Thank you for everything, Talon. For bridging our worlds, for being a catalyst for change." Talon smiled, a twinkle in his eye. "It was destiny, Lansing. Our paths were meant to cross. And now I embark on a new mission, to be the Federation's ambassador to Earth. I'll ensure that our newfound relationship flourishes." With the last of the delegates boarding, the ship's engines began to hum to life, filling the air with a pulsating rhythm. The platform's protective shields shimmered into existence, ready to guard against the force of the ship's departure. "As much as this is a goodbye, it's also the start of a new chapter," Lansing said, watching as the ship's entryways sealed shut. "Safe travels, Talon. Earth awaits its new guest." With a nod of acknowledgement and a wave, Talon disappeared up to the bridge, leaving Lansing to watch the ship's ascent. As the engines flared brilliantly, the vessel lifted gracefully, soon becoming a speck against the vast canvas of space. As the ship's silhouette faded into the cosmos, a serene quiet settled over the spaceport. But deep within the ship's intricate corridors, hidden behind one of its many panels, a tiny device blinked ominously. The LED display counting down methodically. 8 hours. The unsuspecting delegates, engrossed in their discussions and preparations for their arrival on Earth, were oblivious to the ticking time bomb concealed within the ship's walls. Its presence hinted at a shadowy plot, a stark contrast to the hope and promise that this mission represented. For now, the ship sailed smoothly through the vastness of space, its crew and passengers unaware of the impending danger. The countdown continued, each second bringing them closer to a moment that could reshape the fate of two civilizations.